Welcome to the Unritalin Show. I'm Dr. Yannick Poli from unritalinsolution.com, and today we're answering the question, can ADHD be cured? Well, this is a big assertion, right? And if you have a child that's suffering from ADHD, you may be wondering if I'm sane in my mind to affirm that that may be possible. But there's a few considerations that we need to take into account. First of all, when we look at the diagnosis, there's no definite test that you can do that show that your child has ADHD or not. There's no blood test, there's no X-ray, MRI, or that kind of things. What's happening is that the diagnosis of ADHD, and we discussed it in previous videos, the diagnosis of ADHD is based on diagnostic criteria, a certain number of symptoms that your child presents with. There's 18 of them, and if your child meets 12 of them, then he can receive the diagnosis. So what happens if, let's say, your child has 15 of those symptoms, and then we do an intervention and those symptoms reduce to 4? Well, in that sense, we could say that the child does not meet the criteria for the diagnosis anymore, and we could imagine that we could say that the child is cured. Now, there's other things that we need to take into consideration, is that when we talk about curing ADHD, it's not like having the flu and then not having it anymore. It's not like having an infection and then not having it anymore. ADHD is more like a chronic disease, like diabetes, for example. And diabetes, there's a lot of things that you can do to help to the point where, you know, it's a very, very limited problem. Or you can have really bad lifestyle and it can just exacerbate the thing. So it's exactly the same thing with ADHD. We have a genetic predisposition. We have environmental forces that will trigger, if you want, the loaded gun, that will press the trigger and increase or decrease the behavior. And if we can modulate or reduce the negative forces from the environment, then we can get a child that's functioning pretty normally. And this is what we see on a frequent basis in our clinic. And I won't say it's 100%, it is never, but we have a high percentage of children that come to us with a diagnosis of ADHD, that are taking drugs for ADHD that helps. For some they don't, for some they have too many side effects. But when we start getting them moving along the Unritalin solution path, and we start looking at lifestyle and changing diet and balancing the brain and doing all the natural approaches that we can to help them, a lot of those children then start behaving normally, and they go back to the medical doctors and they don't longer meet the diagnostic criteria, and then they can stop taking drugs and they can be like normal kids again. And this is possible. So again, can ADHD be cured? Well, we have to kind of be critical about it, especially if someone offers a cure by just, take that vitamins and they'll be cured. No, this is not as easy. But there's a lot of things that can be done to help your child naturally, to the point where a big majority of the children with ADHD will no longer meet the diagnostic criteria and will be able to live a normal life. Obviously they still have some problems. I mean, all kids have some, but to the point where they can, behave better, have better grade in school, have a great relationship with you, even if sometimes there's a little bit of confrontation and stuff like that are part of normal behavior. So it is definitely possible to help children tremendously with natural approaches. As far as saying, can we cure it? No, because if, let's say, your child, part of the problem is that if they eat certain food, they get all hyperactive. Well, if we remove those foods, they'll be functioning well. Now, if they eat them again, they'll have the problem. So it's not going to be cured in that sense. But there's a lot of things that can be done to help your child, live out close as possible to a normal life. So stay tuned because we have more information about all that, and shall see you soon.
To get 20 more videos like this and 2 great free bonuses, visit unritalinsolution.com/free.